Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Tier List, the brand new podcast that everyone wants to listen to. I am Daniel Mangan.
Take two.
Yeah, because it went great the first time. I am Daniel Mangan, joined today by Adam Collins.
All right, everyone, how you doing?
Neil Hardman.
Hello.
And the grand leader of it all, Patrick Carolan.
Hello, and I'm not the grand leader.
Your idea, mate.
So, basically, what this podcast is all about, during this time, everyone is kind of hit by the coronavirus. We've started to do something a bit different, get something going, Me, Collins, and Neil have already been part of a YouTube channel in the past. Went absolutely terrific. And yeah, just keep it going. So, without further ado, we'll get straight in with Patrick Carolan.
Thank you. So yeah, as you were saying, this is a tier list podcast. So we're going to be ranking today superhero movies, all right? So these are the tiers: masterpiece, almost there, decent, meh, I would never watch again. So obviously we've only got like 20 films here, and there's like a ton of superhero movies. So that's probably setting us up for a part two at some point, I reckon, because there's a lot of films here we haven't covered. But
yeah.
Focusing on the ones that we have covered today, we'll start with Venom, which is the movie that I picked. And have you all seen this film?
I have not, but I've heard great things about it. That is all I know.
That's sarcasm. Is that sarcasm?
No, that is literally not sarcasm.
I think you've just praised Paddy's Woods Never Watch Again film.
No. It's definitely not that. But I've seen it, but I heard a lot of bad things about it. But I thought it was pretty decent.
It's worth mentioning that the Metacritic reviews for Venom have it down as a 35.
Wow.
There's quite a number of critics who've compared it to the cult classic The Room, which I hope we all know of.
Oh my God. What a comparison that is.
I'll tell you
why it's a masterpiece then.
I'll tell you why I was decent. I think it's visually, it is a good, it's well made, decent story, decent action, decent acting. It's just decent. Like, there's nothing like special about it, and it's not terrible. So that's why I'd put it in middle tier. But I'm happy to, someone disagrees.
It's certainly not a very dull film if you watch it, to be honest. Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian said that it was the poison of dullness, that movie. But it's not, because it is, well, in my personal opinion, and the opinion of many critics, it's actually, well, laughably bad. That's the problem with Venom. It is completely uncompelling in its own way. Like, you even mentioned, Patrick, it's decent this, decent that. But the problem is nothing stands out, leading to the movie being so dull and hammy that many would never watch it again.
I'd say decent, but I'm happy to be overruled and put meh, because I don't feel that strongly about it.
I'd say it's more of a meh, but to give some defense to Venom, I quite like the interactions between Tom Hardy and Venom. I think they have there's a good Jekyll and Hyde performance from Tom
and the voice of Venom is quite good, and the visual of him, but like, I don't know, the overall story, everything. It's not.
It's a very generic origin movie for a character.
So
the main problem with that is Venom's traditionally a villain, so you don't want a generic origin story for him.
That's the thing. Like, when it first saw it was released, I was really excited for it. Then I heard some mixed reviews, and I was like, I can't be really bothered if it's just going to be so. Like, Venom was one of my favorite parts in Spider-Man 3. Like, it was.
That's a favorite part of Spider-Man 3.
Well, just Venom, basically.
No, I didn't.
Everyone else is in the fucking.
But yeah, I think let's just put it in there. I'm happy to go with there if that's what we all think.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I think that's great.
I'd definitely watch it again with a bunch of lads with a beer.
Yeah, I wouldn't say never watch again.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd personally say decent, but I think listening to what you just said, I'm happy to go, man.
No, just carrying my early analogy, does this mean the would never watch again can't have a room type movie in it?
I don't know what this movie is.
Think about that. That's an
The
important...
Room.
The Room.
The Room.
How do you not know what The Room is?
Mate, I
Right,
watch
screw
superhero movies
superhero.
and nothing else.
Hence
Tommy
why this
Wiseau,
is the first
Like,
episode.
one of the greatest actors of all time.
Oh, let's not go too far, mate.
Like, one of the greatest. I want that. I just want Tommy Wiseau movies for the next one.
There's one movie.
Exactly. So it'll be masterpiece immediately.
All right, we've settled that as mate. Like, let's do the next one, which I selected as Batman and Robin. Now, this was your film, Collins. What do you think?
Oh, boys, what can you not say about Batman and Robin?
I mean, it's certainly it's certainly a movie.
It's great fun. No one has ever had a truly bad time watching Batman and Robin. I mean, you want to talk about iconic performances like Tommy Wiseau. There's no one better than Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
I enjoyed that performance more than you could ever imagine.
It's
just
great.
the amount of ice punch you can get. Ice to see you. Everybody chill. You're not sending me to the cooler.
I wonder if he had a Bruce Forsyth impression. It's ice to see you, ice.
I like the costume. I like his costume.
That's the saving grace.
I'm clutching at straws here, to be honest.
You have to be with this fucking film.
No, look. Right. First off, I have chosen a film much worse than Batman and Robin, so I refuse to allow this to get into Would Never Watch Again.
Wait, that's not you Would Never Watch Again.
No, this is what I would describe as meh. This is look, Batman and Robin is a bad film. I'm never going to argue against that.
Yeah.
But it's got lots of hammy fun performances and so many jokes and puns that are stuck in my mind. For God's sake, the Bat credit card.
Like, I couldn't put this Would Never Watch Again because I would watch it again. Really, it belongs in that category, but I would watch it again because it's fun. It is fun.
Exactly.
No, but it's like, it's one of those films that's so bad it's good. It's like
Mangan, it's the Room of superhero movies.
Oh.
No, you can't tell me you wouldn't watch that again for like.
No. He's got more fucking ice punch than a fucking stand-up.
Exactly. He's an ice supervillain.
As a fun fact, does anyone know who else was considered for the role of Mr. Freeze in this movie?
I'd like
please tell me. I cannot wait for this.
If you can believe, Patrick Stewart.
No way. Imagine
that. Could not get like two more different actors than Arnold Schwarzenegger and Patrick Stewart.
They actually rewrote the screenplay in order to accommodate Schwarzenegger.
When they realised, Stewart said no. Who else have we got on the list?
Arnie. I think they made the right decision with Arnie just because that's probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah,
it's the only part.
I'll give you. Bane and Poison Ivy are awful.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Bane's kind of funny as well due to the fact that he looks just so much like a gimp.
Oh God.
Yeah. I can't believe they were serious when they made this movie. Like they were actually trying to make something good. That's
the problem.
That's the thing. Batman and Robin's a sequel to the Val Kilmer Batman film.
Oh my God, is that the one with Jim Carrey as the Riddler?
Yeah, and Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah. But that's the film that's got Batman killing people, and they followed it up with this.
With that.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to put this in there, though. What do you think?
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean,
I'd watch it again.
Because it is terrible, but I would watch it again because it's that terrible.
It's so terrible, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it's seeming to be a very high threshold category.
No, I already know a couple that could go there.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Definitely not this one. This one isn't going there. Captain America, the First Avenger. No,
right.
This was yours, man.
This is mine, fellas. So, what a way to kick off like the event. This was the last film before the Avengers kicked off, wasn't it? And like we got ready.
I believe so, yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
Because of the end, the sort of the end scene or whatever.
It was this is probably the model for origin stories, really, I'd say. Like a small little wee kid from Brooklyn turning into one of the biggest superheroes. And it's a really good story as well.
Yeah, I think Captain America is like one of my favorite origin stories of any superhero. Like,
plus it's part of its film in Liverpool, so got to give shout outs for that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, on the docks.
And I tell you what else is really good: the CGI to make Chris Evans look young and scrawny. That's really good.
And there's times when it's funny as well. I do like, we were talking about Tommy Lee Jones then. I love him as like a drill sergeant. He is like the perfect actor for being an absolute bellend.
Absolutely.
Like for sure, yeah.
And I like the idea. I mean, let's be honest. When Bucky died, we thought, "Is that it?" And obviously, Winter Soldier happened, and we realized, "Oh shit, it's not."
Yeah, I love that twist as well. Like
good villains. Loved. Is it Hugo Weaving? It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Redface. I love the idea of basically someone going over the Nazis' heads, basically.
You mean Red Skull, by the way?
Red Skull, yeah. Oh, Jesus, I've let myself down there.
What did you call him?
Redface.
Called him Redface.
Redface.
He was just really angry for the whole
That's
film.
a lot less intimidating than Redface. Just embarrassed all the time.
As well, at the time, wasn't really a happy ending.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about superhero movies, because sometimes you get into the trope of, oh, there's a villain, we've got to stop him. Oh, everyone saves the day. Like, he had to lose his love to make sure that the world was safe.
Yeah, no, I really like the end of this because it gets you really excited for like the next.
Yes, you get ready.
The next ones, yeah. Like, I mean, I struggle to figure out how they could make it better. So it's like, do you put it in Almost There or do you put it in Masterpiece? Because
I said Almost There solely because of the movie I picked for Masterpiece.
Well, we won't go into that yet, but
I'd say it's Almost There. There are films on this list that are better than it.
Yeah, because it's nothing. It's not overly groundbreaking, but
at the end of the day, you can sort of say, "Wow, really good origin story. This is what origin story should be the framework for." But compared to now in 2020, we've seen this film because every origin film's like it.
Yeah, but it's also like it's not necessarily unique, but it's very good. So I think
also Captain America kicking ass in World War II. You can't get much better than that, really.
Yeah.
It is a great setting.
Yeah.
And all the props and the characters are fantastic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For sure. All right. Let's let's take a trip back in time to Batman 1966 with Adam West. Now, this was yours. So I'm interested to see what you have to say about this one.
Well, I think ultimately, I've thrown this in here because it's rather unlike the rest of the movies that we've considered up to now, in being, a classic of the genre. From we're thinking modern. Batman 1966 is from a different breed. It is a different breed of movie that no longer really exists in a world where movies have become so much more gritty and realistic.
Literally has been parodied so much because of its campiness.
So much. But that campiness is what makes it an absolute riot to watch. It is fantastic to see some character like Batman, who's now become such an icon of gritty movie, who's just carrying around a giant bomb.
That scene with the bomb was so annoying. It was literally just like, throw it in the water now. It went on. It just kept going on for about 10 minutes. That scene with the bomb.
The thing though with this film, it is campy, and you must have thought. Imagine if you're a Batman fan from Adam West to Jack Nicholson's Joker. Imagine what a transition that must have been.
I don't think you can.
It's about 20 years in between it, mate.
You can't take this film too seriously. That I think. For a start.
Yeah, of course.
And it also is like quite a bit ahead of its time, like in terms of some of the effects and things like that.
I think it has like a certain like childlike innocence
Yeah.
to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Because that's what superhero everything was in
It's
the
like
60s.
a comic book, like translated onto a film, like instantly, like with
And-
no filter. Like it's just
and
like
some of
gone
the
straight from
catchphrases
comic book straight to film.
and some of the catchphrases in it were just. Oh
I mean,
my
even
god!
in some of the fight scenes when he hits him, like he goes blam or whatever. On
Blam!
the
That was the
yeah.
staple of the TV show.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so it's very like
Speaking of Adam Sandler Batman, did any of you guys watch the animated Adam Sandler Batman film that came out like a couple of years ago?
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
Not Adam Sandler. Why am I saying Adam Sandler?
That's what
Adam West.
No, that would be an odd choice for Batman. Adam Sandler, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, Adam West. Yes, the one that was actually in the Batman 1966. Yeah,
Adam Sandler. I can imagine like a Jack and Jill style Batman for it. Make that happen. If there's
Anyway,
anyone,
I was going to suggest this is probably it's a decent movie. It shows its age a bit, but that's also its endearing quality. However, probably because of its age and now it seems in certain ways outdated, it's probably not going to reach into the higher tiers. So I'd probably call it
like you couldn't put it on the same level as First Avenger, could you? That's the thing.
No,
that's the thing.
But you've got to give it its credit because of how ahead of its time it was.
Good time.
It's decent because of shark repellent spray.
Exactly.
That's an iconic scene in superhero movie history.
Yeah, I think decent's fair. Do we agree? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Okay. This next one is probably the biggest one of them all. It's Avengers Endgame. Now this was actually mine, and I'll tell you straight away. I had it almost there, which might be a bit controversial. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's not as controversial as me actually saying I haven't seen it yet. It is not as controversial as that.
Imagine doing a superhero movie podcast and not seeing the biggest superhero movie of all time.
Oh, it's not. Come on. We'll.
I mean,
touch
no,
that
it is.
It's not.
It is. Like, factually, it is.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's no DC's Justice League.
We won't talk about that.
I mean, that's a diss. That.
Well, no, that's one for part 2. I actually haven't seen it.
That's a good one for part 2.
I haven't seen it, but I know it's probably crap. So.
Oh boy.
All right. What people who have seen Avengers Endgame, what do you think of it?
I laughed. I cried. I left the cinema.
I would like to say I do know what happened, so it's not like I am completely in the dark.
Yeah, no. The reason I didn't almost there because I couldn't quite have it a masterpiece because I felt like the balance between sort of seriousness and comedy wasn't quite right. It was like kind of like a 50-50 balance between the two.
Infinity War's better. It's as simple
as
that.
It's a more well-rounded, more balanced film. If you were giving me the choice between two to see again, I'd see Avengers Endgame. I think it's more enjoyable, but Infinity War is a more well-rounded film, more balanced. Because I think at the first half of Endgame, I was like, is this like a comedy? Like this, it feels weird that this is like a comedy when everyone's just died. But then the second half happened, it kind of balanced it out a bit, and it is brilliant. But
I think it fit within the story that Thor becomes depressed and all that, but he didn't need to become the fat guy who just drank all day.
Don't get me wrong, I love Marvel humor, and I loved all the humor in that movie, but I was just sat there a bit like, this doesn't feel serious enough considering everyone's just died. Well, maybe that's me being cynical.
I suppose it's kind of constrained by the franchise it's in, right? Like coming as, the end game of a very, very large franchise, it was always going to be sort of pigeonholed in what it could offer. It wasn't going to offer anything radically new, but it was going to tie all the threads together, and it kind of did that well without really being groundbreaking. Like, it has its massive scope and its massive budgets, but it's not exactly something that brought something new to the table. It was just ultimately a conclusion of a franchise which has kind of put almost every superhero trope through the ringer by now.
Well, I think one thing I'm impressed with is the expectations are so high and they kind of met them, which was hard to do. I don't think they exceeded them, but they met them.
Yeah.
Which you got to give some credit for. But
Yeah.
if they'd exceeded them, I probably would have put a masterpiece. So, but that's my thinking for why it's almost there. So, yeah.
No, I completely agree that it's not masterpiece, because at the end of the day, it's not the better of a two-parter.
Yeah, but I think you still have to. You couldn't put it decent. You'd have to put it.
No, it's
like that. The end battle scene, you got to talk like that.
Yeah.
That's one of the best. Like, maybe the best moment in superhero history. Maybe. I mean, that's just so amazing to watch. But...
Oh no, there was that time Superman returned at the end of DC's Justice League.
Oh,
You've ruined it now.
oh shit!
You've ruined
I'm
it.
not gonna watch it now. Oh,
Oh boy!
We should have said spoiler
you
alert.
2.5 hours.
We should have said spoiler alert before this, because we are basically spoiling everything.
It's a tier list.
I was gonna say it's a superhero.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. But yeah, Avengers Endgame almost there. Yeah. All right. So next one is yours, Collins. I think Logan.
Logan. It's almost cheating to have it on this, because it's not really a superhero movie.
I mean, it is.
Well, it is. Yes, obviously
Wolverine
it is,
is a
because
superhero.
Logan is a superhero. But at the end of the day, it's like a modern day Western.
True Grit style.
Yeah, it's not about trying to save the world against an evil threat, going against all the odds. All the odds. It's just about a guy who's trying to do the right thing, almost against his will for like half the film.
Did you watch it in black and white at all?
No.
Black and white.
Yeah, there's a black and white version of it.
Wow, I don't know why you'd want to watch that.
Well, like Colin said,
to make it feel more like a Western.
That's stupid to me. I don't know. I think it's a pretty dark and emotional,
really gritty,
quite powerful film. Like to end his sort of reign.
And the X-Men universe, because we don't talk about the one that came afterwards.
So, and it is different. It is different to most of the superhero movies.
Like you said, it turned because Hugh Jackman has built a legacy on Wolverine, and it's kind of.
You think the first one came out in 2001?
Yeah, exactly. Like he has built a life on Wolverine.
Yeah. Neil,
and he's played that character brilliantly for the years, and I think it was a good send off for him. I think he's got to be happy with it, because it really does, like, it is like an emotional dark film, like it's what it needed to be.
Yeah.
And I think it has its purpose, and it's done a good job.
I think, like, Logan is a very different kind of superhero movie, isn't it? And probably it's opened, I won't say it's opened the gate, but it's certainly opened the opportunity for more character-driven stories in superhero movies, rather than, just the action focus. Like, as now we've seen, like, with movies like Joker, and we might see more of that kind of character study movie. Logan, probably, it is... I don't know if it's quite the genesis of that kind of movie, but it's certainly the one that's made having a character study style superhero movie an appropriate option, like, now.
Yeah, exactly. To me, it was unique for its kind. It paves the way to the future, and it's just fantastic. It should have been nominated for an Oscar, especially if Black Panther's going to get nominated for an Oscar.
Well, see, when you started speaking about this, I was thinking you were going to have it like a bad film, like when you're saying country and western and that.
Oh
no, I think it's a masterpiece.
You think it's a masterpiece?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I find it hard to disagree.
There is not a single thing wrong with Logan.
It's quite a fantastic movie.
It is very good, and the little girl actor in it Very good.
I haven't even talked about X-13. Brilliant. The teaching moments of him trying to make sure that the mistakes of his past don't get repeated through her.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with you. We'll put it in masterpiece.
You get them right, you will.
because it kind of is. It's the perfect send off for Hugh Jackman.
Perfect
Right.
send off for the X-Men franchise because we don't talk about Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, but
I've
heard it's not worth. I've heard it's not worth seeing. So, what's this next one? Oh, Batman: The Dark Knight Returns Part 2. This is the animated one.
Right. So I'm immediately putting this as decent. Obviously, it's a bit different. It is animated compared to everything else, but with this animation, it goes a lot further than it would in real life. I think it's set 20 years after the Batman disappears. He reappears to come out of retirement because Gotham is in such a shithole. And in this, we really see a different side of the Joker. Like, because he was in a senile state until Batman came back, and it just shows that psychotic relationship between the two of them, which I really enjoy.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing a cartoon that graphic in a while. Like I mean, you're not used to seeing like people getting shot in the head in cartoons and that.
No, the thing is, spoiler alert, Joker breaks his own neck to make it look like Batman killed him into the authorities just to shit on him one last time.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's cool.
Like,
I mean, that is a very Joker death, to be honest.
It is, and when I saw this on Amazon, it was just like, oh, I might as well watch it. It looks all right, and I was actually blown away by how good it was. There are parts of it where it doesn't delve into real detail because there is like some sort of reformation of the Justice League. There is a Green Arrow in it. There is a fight between Batman and Superman in the end because the government are sick of Batman's vigilantism. And it's just like, it's basically how age takes its toll on Batman, who we think almost as this immortal god at times when watching his movies. Like, the fact that they're showing us his mortality, I just think's great.
Yeah, have you two seen it?
No.
No, I have not. It's originally a direct to TV movie, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You wouldn't expect it to be that good.
Yeah, that kind of separates it from the rest of the movies on this list, really, doesn't it? However, it does mean less people have seen it.
That is a problem because it is a really good film. Like,
yeah, I struggle with cartoons. I struggle to like get into them because I like real stuff, but I'll give it. It was decent.
Like, it is perfect, yeah.
So yeah, I think only me and you see it. We both think decent. So
yeah, I think it's right. Yeah.
We'll put it there.
Yeah, I'm not willing to overrule on
There's
someone.
not too much to say in it because I doubt many people have seen it, but it's worth a watch. All right, the next one is Birds of Prey. Only recently came out, and that's yours, Neil, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's not the most recent movie on this list.
I think it is.
Yes,
yeah.
it is. Yes,
Well, it came out.
Joker, isn't it?
I saw that just before the UK lockdown, so it's quite fresh in my memory. Birds of Prey. Yeah, but Birds of Prey is an interesting movie because it immediately invites the comparison to Suicide Squad, which we haven't got onto yet, but you can guess where that conversation's going to go.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to avoid making the comparisons, but it's very hard. So let's just say Birds of Prey immediately stands out as a very, very colourful movie. It stands out because of its all-female ensemble cast, who really do quite a fantastic job. Like, the characters are mostly memorable, especially Margot Robbie, who does an absolutely fantastic job with Harley Quinn. Because, after Suicide Squad, I'm sure there's a lot of people thinking out there that you do not need a standalone Harley Quinn-led movie. But Margot Robbie really showed that you can come out and create one and do a fantastic job, make it an absolute blast of a time. It's colourful, It's funny. Her accent is absolutely ridiculous. And the most important thing, of course, is that it's a really fun movie. It's not the best, but compared to Suicide Squad, you can probably get...
Yeah, like after watching Suicide Squad and her performance as Harley Quinn, it was a decent performance, but like her accent was like, it was a bit forced in that movie.
Well,
but watching Birds of Prey, watching Birds of Prey, she was so much better. Like,
that's the thing about Harley Quinn. She's always had, especially in like the cartoons and stuff, like a really thick accent. Like,
yeah, it's part of a character for a voice to be annoying and really loud.
No, but it was just if you watch Birds of Prey, you'll see what I'm saying. Is it a bit more subtle this time? And it's just, she nailed it. Yeah.
If you would like to hear a funny quip, I went to see that movie with my Chinese fiance. She understood absolutely nothing of what happened.
I'm not surprised.
Because of Harley Quinn's accent.
Was it a joint decision to take her to it, or was this like just you saying we are going? I don't care if you don't understand it.
Perhaps I was going for the female empowerment angle.
No, it was quite a female empowering film, like especially like the end scene where they all like get together and then have to fight off everyone.
That's a really cool scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a classy scene.
Yeah. No. It is a good film. Maybe a bit of qualm I had was Ewan McGregor's character.
Mm.
I just would have liked to have known a bit more background on him. Like, I would just like to know a bit more about him, like why he's the way he is and things like that. Because I don't think that was explained too well in the movie.
Ewan McGregor acted so well, though.
He did.
I mean, you've always got a good shift if Ewan McGregor's in it.
No, he put in a great performance, but I just would have liked to know a bit more about the character and the backstory. And the police officer woman, Rosie Perez played. I've got like no background on her either. She just kind of showed up and was like, "Yeah, I'm the police officer."
I think it says a lot that you can't remember their names.
Yeah, I thought the police officer character, who I can't remember the name of either, she was interesting. There was some strange acting for that role, I would say. It really rather stood out about how surprisingly wooden Rosie Perez was compared to the rest of the cast. Which is probably why overall, we only have a limited number of places in each tier. I would probably end up putting this in the meh category. It's decent. It is actually decent, but it does have a lot of flaws.
Oh,
I'm surprised at that.
I'm very surprised you say meh. You were bigging it up a minute.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you were going to put it like decent. I'm like, all right, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, though, I've already kind of used my decent up, and I felt like this was not really, it wasn't better than Batman 1966. Like, I probably
was it on par?
I probably wouldn't go see this again. Like, I'm not. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bottom category movie, but it's good, but it's not compelling in any way that might make you want to really see it again. Like,
I feel like I want to overrule it and put it decent. I don't think I could put it in there.
Scrappy,
that seems a bit harsh.
Like I say, I've already used up my decent, so I can't quite put it.
Doesn't matter. You can like.
Yeah, at this stage, Paddy's gonna have like every film in there.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't put it in there because it is a good film. Like, you can't put a good film in there. I just feel like.
Oh, we switched it then.
Even if it does have flaws, I still at least I think put it decent.
Fair enough. I think that's okay. It's probably the lower side of decent. It's a good time, but it's not anything at all.
It's worth a watch. It's well worth a watch. For sure, but decent, I think, is kind of fair.
All right, yeah.
All right, so the next one's my one, and a bit controversial. This one, I think, probably my most controversial one is Deadpool.
Yeah.
Which I put it in meh.
Ooh.
I mean, Deadpool 2, sure, but Deadpool.
Honestly, I prefer Deadpool 2. Like, I think they're both crap, but.
Oh, fucking hell.
And he doesn't like fun.
No. Listen, I get it's fun, and I get like why other people like it, but I just don't. The humor doesn't do it for me. Like the Ryan Reynolds' humor, just like it feels a bit forced. I don't know. That might just be me, but to me, it feels a bit forced. It feels like it's trying too hard to be funny.
I think if you don't like it, if you don't like Ryan Reynolds' humor, then that sort of means fair enough. You can only put it in there, because the humor is the thing that carries the film, and it's really all the film has. It doesn't have memorable action sequences.
Yeah,
it doesn't have the greatest origin story.
Well, that's the thing. You talk about the humor. I feel that Deadpool gave so much away in the trailer for it. I felt that it gave so much away. Like a lot of humor was just in the trailer. And when you see it,
just comedies.
When you see it again, it's just not like I know, but I'd expect a lot more after that. But there just wasn't enough for me to like make it like, oh yeah, this is great.
I'm interested to know what you guys think of like the humor, the Ryan Reynolds humor.
I enjoy the Ryan Reynolds humor, but I'm incredibly childish.
It's so for me. Like I can give or take.
I
enjoyed. Sorry, go on.
I would just probably add. I feel like back in 2016, the humor kind of felt like a fresh thing, the fourth wall breaking kind of stuff. I don't know if now these, a few years later, it just comes off as a bit edgy and not much else.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I feel like it's trying too hard to be edgy and trying too hard to be like funny and edgy. I don't know. That's
Deadpool in a nutshell, though.
Yeah,
he is forced edgy, hilarious. If you ever meet a guy who likes comic books and he says his favorite character is Deadpool, you don't want to talk to him.
Absolute psycho.
It's probably not an endearing thing, is it? Really?
No, it's not.
Well, I'm interested to know where you guys would put it. I'd put it in there, but I
just said decent because again, all you can do, all it's got is its humor.
I literally would like Neil did before. I'll put it like lower decent or upper meh. Like I don't think
you can't do that. You gotta pick one.
Yeah, I know. I don't think it's anything solid. That's the thing.
Go on, Neil. You can be kind of the decider.
I feel like I would probably say it's decent on the whole. Not everyone's gonna really enjoy it, but it's a decent enough film that if you watch it with a few people in the cinema, that you're probably going to have a decent enough time. So I'd probably say it qualifies as decent.
Yeah, I'm happy to put it decent.
Yeah, all right.
I'm not I don't hate it that much, but
I will say it's definitely better than Venom.
Did you have to go that high pitch for it, like to really prove your point?
I'm not shocked.
To really put your point down, I'll turn it 12 again.
As I said, I'm happy to say decent.
Yeah,
but, okay, the next one is Catwoman. That's just going.
All right, put it down. Put it down. Kill it with fire.
All right. We'll talk about Catwoman.
We have to talk about my second masterpiece.
There's so much to talk about with this film. There's so much. I mean,
I'll take it. This is the Halle Berry one.
Oh, this is Halle Berry's Catwoman in the Would Never Watch Again section.
Oh,
I'll let you speak first, Colin, then I'll say my piece.
The worst film I've ever sat through.
Wow.
I'm not even going
to argue.
I just think it's the most bland film of all time.
So bad.
It's so.
Let's just first off a bit of clarity on what era this is. This is the early noughties where superhero films aren't really popular yet. So what you've got coming out alongside Catwoman is Daredevil. You have Elektra, and you have not much else. I think there's a few others, but and the X-Men trilogy. Which,
I was going to say
which
Fantastic Four as well.
Fantastic! Oh my word, the two Fantastic Four films.
Oh,
Jesus Christ! This is a dark period.
These are all things for part 2.
Yeah, I was going to say just all would never.
Think about this, right? The villain in the Avengers Endgame is Thanos, the most powerful being alive, right? The villain in Catwoman is the owner of an anti-aging cream. All right, think about that.
I think it's they don't understand. They don't understand. They didn't understand how to do superhero films yet. They thought, because think about, I've named two women superhero movies. You know, woohoo, great. We've got Black Widow coming out now. It's because of Catwoman and Elektra that we've had to wait this long for Catwoman to come.
Yeah,
Black Widow
that
come
gives
out.
superhero movies no favors.
And it doesn't help the fact that they chose two people, the two most famous anti-heroes / villains of all women superhero comics. Like Catwoman is Selena Kyle, the girlfriend, not the boyfriend, of Batman, who also is a jewel thief. Yet in this, she gets scratched by a cat and gains cat powers from Egypt.
Jesus.
Because back then Egypt was ruled by the cats, so she gets cat reflexes.
I mean, try and block this movie out of my memory.
If we're trying to be a bit more fair, I don't think her performance as Catwoman was that bad. Like,
oh god, it's shocking.
Come on, Paddy, you can't polish it.
It's not great, but it's not terrible. Like,
you're right, it's bad.
Can talk about the basketball scene.
The basketball
scene
is the only redeeming grace of the film due to how ridiculous it is.
What if it had of direction? Cut. Nonsensical scene that makes so little sense.
But it's funny because you're expecting something epic to happen and it just doesn't.
Oh,
it's like the WNBA.
You were expecting something epic to happen in Halle Berry's Catwoman.
Mate, I went in there with an open mind.
Generally, if the entire that's because he expected Batman and Robin to be my would never watch again, not Halle Berry's Catwoman.
I genuinely did. I actually did too.
But like generally, if the basketball scene was the basis of the entire film, it'd be like Batman and Robin in that there's enough hilarity for me to think what the hell, and it'd be a meh. But it's not. It's just there's nothing good in this film.
Like, if this was the last film left alive,
I mean,
I think the last film left alive.
Actually, I'll stop you there, Collins. I do think there is one good thing about the film, is that it fucking finished quickly.
Oh, that's a good point. It is really short, isn't it?
You didn't want to scratch it out too long.
Yeah, hang on. Oh, how long was it? I think it was under 100 minutes.
Are you searching this now? To like,
I am because I'm fairly certain it was like ridiculously short.
Yeah.
Imagine being in the cut and like, so like
an hour and 44 minutes.
How long?
An hour and
44 minutes.
Oh my god!
How did it go that long?
Poor people. How long was the basketball scene?
I mean, to be fair, she dragged that out for a while there.
Did they have an NBA match in between just so it made it look all right?
Just genuinely, guys. In 2005, when this came out, it won 4 Razzies. Worst actress.
I don't know what a Razzie is.
It's the opposite of the Oscars that they do after it. Worst actress, worst screenplay, worst director, and straight up worst film.
Who was the director?
Pitoff.
Who?
Pitoff.
All right, that says a lot.
This film got a 9% in Rotten Tomatoes and a 27 on Metacritic.
Oh, go back there. Tomatoes.
Oh, fuck off.
Are you a Shropshire farmer? Is this Hot Fuzz?
I think we've established it's never watch again. We've slimmed it enough.
Oh, it had a budget of 100 million. It made 80.
Really? I was going to put it at Masterpiece.
Oh my god! I'm surprised it made 80.
I think they're being very generous to people.
Mate, honestly, if you've never seen it, don't. It'll be an hour.
The only award that Pitoff has won is his Razzie.
Oh, the poor bastard. Imagine being remembered for that shite.
It's what I remember Halle Berry for.
Remembered for something. Right. Let's move on before we kill all cats everywhere. This is too much. All right. The next one is that Thor 2 or Thor 1?
It is the first Thor.
First Thor. Go on then, Mangan.
Right.
Yours.
I would put this on, would never watch again as well. I hated this movie. Thor was a spoiled brat. Why you need Natalie Portman in any superhero movie, I don't know. Stellan Skarsgård, all right. I like as an actor, so he was all right. The villain, the metal thing that went to Earth. What's the point in that, really? It gives me a brain aneurysm just thinking about this film, really.
It's not a great film, but is it as bad as Cat? Would you put it on par with Catwoman?
I mean,
let's sort of say it. I think Catwoman's the bottoming out. If you you can't say like just because
Catwoman's there,
to be honest, Catwoman needs like another tier below. Like
Catwoman is the bottom of the barrel. Let's be honest. Like, but some things can join it. I really don't like it.
I don't think it's as bad as you're describing.
It wasn't a good way to introduce Thor, really.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, that plus the second Thor movie kind of put me off Ragnarok for a bit, which we'll get onto in a bit.
I will say, it is incredible. You were mentioning Natalie Portman, but Natalie Portman just came off Black Swan as well.
Exactly. Like, she's gone from such a great role to just bland.
But
it seemed like an odd couple in that, to be fair.
It really looks quite poor when you compare it to like the other movies that focus on the Avengers characters. You know, like when you look at discussed before, like the first Captain America movie,
which we put in almost there.
Yeah.
By comparison, I don't think it's not a bad film. It's not a waste of time to watch it, but it is exceedingly meh. It's quite unmemorable, really. It doesn't do the justice for the Thor character that later films it did.
That's the thing, though. Like you said, it was not like you compare it to Captain America for an introduction, Iron Man for an introduction. Hell, even the Hulk with Edward Norton as an introduction.
Oh, piss off! That's worse than Thor. That was going to be my next point. That's worse than Thor.
Really?
That's a horrific film.
At least you got Tim Roth in it. Like, that's why.
I mean, you got Natalie Portman coming off Black Swan in Thor.
But yeah, just because she's in a good movie doesn't mean the next one's going to be cracking.
Exactly. You just said that an actor who did good in previous movies, they've got them at least.
Right, where are we putting this then?
I say meh. It's not even the worst MCU film.
It's either decent or meh.
It's not decent.
I'm going with meh. I'm going with
let's go meh. Let's go.
If I can't have it and you'll never watch again, I'll stick with meh.
I don't think it's I couldn't put it on like the Catwoman level. Like,
I apologize for bringing Catwoman into this. Like I said,
Catwoman is literally bottom of the barrel.
I know, but
other things with it.
But I possibly might watch it again. So I think meh, because it's not great, but I possibly might watch it again.
No one said I'm going to skip Thor when they're doing their MCU rewatches.
Yeah, I think meh's fair. I think meh's fair. Okay. What's this one? Oh, Man of Steel. That's yours, Neil.
Okay, so see the problem with Man of Steel is that it's so disturbingly bland. There is almost nothing to say about it. It is dreary and bland in every way. Even right down to the color palette the movie uses. It's grey, it's dreary, it's completely unmemorable. It is the archetype of a forgettable movie, which is why I would say that it is a movie I would never watch again, because it is about as interesting as watching paint dry.
I have made a rule, basically, to never watch a Superman movie, because I think they are just always so bland.
Well, I mean, what I was thinking about watching it is like it's just like every superhero movie you've ever seen, basically. I mean, there's nothing like unique about it.
You remember nothing having watched the movie. You know, you may as well have had a memory cleanse after you step out of the cinema having watched that movie, because it's so unmemorable in every single way. They even screw up the finale. Like they had this big set piece where Superman kills Zod, right? And it's supposed to be some big talking point. But the rest of the movie was so boring that nobody in the right mind would care that that happened. And
I
that,
cared because it destroys Superman as a character.
yeah, but well, aside from that, like that is a good point. Yeah, true. It's kind of. I mean, I don't know if there was much redeemable about Henry Cavill's Superman anyway, but it kind of shredded the last bit of credibility for the character, didn't it? And then he got more movies, and we kind of know how well that went.
Let's be honest, DC haven't had a good run lately.
No.
Like they have not hit many home.
They've not given Marvel anything to worry about. Like
Their TV shows were good.
Which
I
one?
still watch Legends of Tomorrow. That's great fun. I might be the only person who watches Legends of Tomorrow.
Thank Christ that isn't on this, because you would be the only one talking about it.
Superhero TV shows, boys.
I'm happy to put Man of Steel in Never Watch Again, because I probably would never watch it.
It's would never watch again. It wanted to recreate Nolan's Batman trilogy with Superman, despite the fact Superman is meant to be the complete opposite of Batman. They figured out how to make a Superman movie back in the 70s with Christopher Reeve, and they for some reason just not followed it since.
Well, because they want to be edgy, like Paddy said, they want to do Dark Knight again.
Yeah,
but just with a different superhero, and it's never going to work.
Well, no, they've stopped trying to do that. Shazam, which we haven't.
Shazam
is a decent film that would not be and would never watch again. That's a decent film. I'd almost put it in almost there.
But this is
Man of Steel. It completely goes against everything the character of Superman stands for. And then he snaps the neck of Zod.
I agree. It's so bland and so like unoriginal. It's just.
I will give one thing to Man of Steel. Actually, only one thing. The fight throughout the city makes a cool moment in the trailer when you find out Bruce Wayne was watching it in the trailer of Batman v Superman, and then that film was fucking awful.
Whoa! Don't spoil that one.
Oh God! I really wanted to watch it.
We've got that one coming up. All right, we'll move on to. We'll go much higher on the tier now. With my one, Civil War, Captain America: Civil War. Like for me, this is just instant masterpiece.
Really?
It's just such a good film. Like what's not to love about it?
This film frustrated me so much, and I don't even think it's because of the movie. I think it's because of Captain America's choices in it.
Why? He was loyal to his friend.
Yeah, but the amount of damage they always caused, like someone's gonna have to rack up the bill eventually. Like that is one good thing I like about Civil War. When you go out, you are either Team Iron Man or Team Captain America, and I do like that. You can have a movie where you debate leaving as well.
Well, you can debate who's right or wrong and things like that, but
yeah, exactly.
I just think it's an epic film. Like the introduction of Spider-Man, the introduction of Black Panther, the battle scene between the two. I mean, great story. There's nothing not to like about it.
It's better than Infinity War, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is my favorite.
It's the best. Favorite. Yeah, no, I fully agree with you. It's the best MCU film.
Yeah,
it's really Avengers 3, but they didn't want to call it that yet.
It's a really, really fun movie, isn't it?
Yep.
It's a great watch. That's the main.
Yeah, like I could watch it like endless amounts of times. Like
I mean, when you found out that Bucky killed Tony Stark's parents,
yeah,
like you could hear a pin drop.
And that final scene where the battle between Captain America and Iron Man gets like proper intense. It's like, it's amazing.
It does really set the scene for Infinity War. Like, even though there was films that followed it, like the idea of just, it's going to be fractured, isn't it?
Well, it was kind of like it's kind of like they were separated, so they weren't just like all together.
Mm.
When
I mean,
the film
Captain
started.
America didn't appear on the screen again until Infinity War.
I mean, and
Obviously,
they were separated in Infinity War.
Yeah, even then.
Yeah, two different
even
groups.
then as well. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously, Tony decided to try and make it Iron Man 3.5 for Spider-Man, but you know,
Yeah.
that was still overall a Spider-Man film, though.
Well, yeah, well, I've got to say this is a masterpiece.
Do you want to?
I fully agree.
Yeah,
It's a great movie.
I have to.
Oh, okay.
There's a clear separation between it and Captain America. Avenger and Avengers Endgame.
Like, you could just watch this film like endless amount of times. Like, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
For sure, it's my favorite MCU film. Probably favorite superhero movie.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, X-Men: Days of Future Past. George Collins.
Can you tell I like the X-Men films, lads?
I don't mind the X-Men films.
Yeah.
Oh no, overall, solid B. I'd say the X-Men franchise. There's just a few problem childs there. Mostly because they can't end the trilogy. But yeah, X-Men: Days of Future Past was the second film with James, what's his name?
McAvoy.
James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender. But it also serves as the bridge between the Patrick Stewart era and the James McAvoy era, with Hugh Jackman, Wolverine getting sent back in time in order to change the past to stop the robots from killing all mutants. I think overall this is a really good film, not a masterpiece. It'd be in my almost there section though, although. Admittedly, I am slightly biased because I watched this in a cinema that was also a restaurant.
I watched this today, like to get ready for everything.
You had great fun with it, didn't you?
I did enjoy it. Like the premise of it was really good. The idea that Mystique killing someone would have such an adverse effect on the entire world I really enjoyed it, and I like the idea of Magneto dying in the end, even though it never happened in the end because history was obviously changed.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyrion Lannister as well.
Oh yeah, Peter Dinklage.
Little shit.
It is a good film. It is a good film. Like the story's good. I don't think it's the most like exciting film ever. It didn't grip me like incredibly, but it's a good story, good concept, good. It's a good link between the two universes that got introduced. Mm-hmm. So I'd say between decent and almost there for me.
Yeah, I will say the time travel method as well was unique for its for a time travel movie with Shadowcat or what's her name? Shadow Panther? Shadowcat? What's that? Kitty Pryde. I'll go with her character's actual name. Using her powers to send his brain back in time and only his brain. I like the fact that it was no one could survive this except you because of your rapid healing. It was a good way to make it so that it was Hugh Jackman that had to go back in time. I will say that the time travel also doesn't really make sense. I still don't understand it, but I did really enjoy the film.
I mean, I just ate my chocolate and went along with it. Like I wasn't expecting to get it all right away.
What have you seen this film, Neil?
I have not, unfortunately. I can't comment on.
Fair enough. Well, where would you put it, Mangan?
I'm not gonna lie. Before I watched this, I was never a big fan of X-Men. I just couldn't get myself into it, and this film actually makes me want to watch more. So I'm gonna probably put it almost there.
I mean, I'll tell you which ones you should watch and which ones you should avoid if you want.
I'll figure that one out for myself. I'll give it 15 minutes each time.
Yeah, I'll put it almost there.
Literally, any good rule for a movie is watch the first 15 minutes, and if it's shite, turn it off.
Yeah.
Kinda. Although some movies are slow starters.
Yeah.
You have to give them a chance.
Some movies are no starters.
You've got to be ruthless about it. You know, imagine if the first 15 minutes of Catwoman was decent. you'd still be watching it.
There's an hour and a half.
I finished it anyway. I finished it anyway for research.
Oh, you are a trooper.
You got to put in the research, but you got to commit.
Paddy, I can't remember how Catwoman ends. How does it end?
Yeah, I was like
I saw it like 2 days ago, and I can barely remember. I think she like killed the woman who was selling the anti-aging cream or something like that.
It's such a sexist one way for it to go as well. It's a woman superhero, so anti-aging cream.
Yeah, I was thinking.
So she killed basically fucking the head of L'Oreal.
But like, kind of, yeah. They were releasing an anti-aging cream that was like giving people headaches and that.
Headaches.
Headaches. That's a killable offence.
No, I'm not doing it justice. There was worse things than that. I just can't remember them. Like, yeah, no, but forgot what I was talking about. We started talking about Catwoman for some reason.
Yeah, because it's so bad.
We talked about Catwoman more than probably any other film, and it's the worst one.
Because the shit brings in the views, Paddy. Just start shit talking about it. That'll get in the money.
Well, let's go on. I'll put X-Men in Days in there, almost there, by the way. But let's go on a complete detour now into something completely better than Catwoman. And I think this is going to be a pretty short debate. The Dark Knight.
I have been waiting for this. Like, as soon as we said, "Oh, we're going to do superheroes," I'm like, I have got Dark Knight. I mean, the fact that it is number 4 for IMDb's best movies of all time says anything you want to know. It is the best movie I have ever seen in my life.
I'm just going to go straight and put it masterpiece.
Because
it is. Yeah,
is anyone even going to dare try and debate it?
I mean, we got one of the best acting performances all time by Heath Ledger.
It's fantastic.
And even then, Heath Ledger, anyone else could have been nominated for an Oscar as well for it. Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon. Christian Bale as Batman was like perfect as like the torn soldier having to fight against something that he doesn't know.
The guy who played Harvey Dent as well.
Yeah, Aaron Eckhart, that's his name.
Yeah, no,
like his performance, like the loss of morality, just any ethical decisions about it. Even Michael Caine, like his monologues about when he was a mercenary going into the jungle, like, are some of the most memorable parts of the film. But yeah, like Heath Ledger as the Joker, it is probably the best performance.
I mean, let's go. It's almost a perfect.
Wow, a masterpiece, an almost perfect film. Is this the controversial part where I say I don't like Christopher Bale as Batman?
Christian Bale.
Wow, you can't even say his name.
Yeah, exactly. I don't rate his performance.
Oh,
why not?
Why?
I can't take it. I can't take the voice seriously. And that you can't argue with that. That voice is ridiculous.
But he's meant to be like gruff and.
There's a difference between rough and throat cancer.
That's like a Catwoman. That I feel offended.
No, like genuinely, I am not arguing this movie should not be a masterpiece. I do think it's overrated because people talk up Christian Batman's performance, Christian Bale's performance, because they want to put it on the same par of Heath Ledger's performance. So that Batman and Joker, both of them are really good, aren't they?
Immediately, Batman is good, but you cannot beat Heath Ledger's performance.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever going to beat his performance as Joker.
I mean, when I watch it, I still get goosebumps when Joker has fallen down that building and you've got the orchestral score as he's falling down. He's just howling with laughter.
I mean, even the scene, that you can see in the picture where he's clapping, which was improvised.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't that improvised?
That was improvised, yeah. So, I mean,
I don't even like Bale as Bruce Wayne. He's forgettable in that role.
Oh.
You're asking for the smack here.
Yeah. Oh, you're lucky that quarantine's still in effect.
Look, again, I am not saying this movie isn't a masterpiece. Everything apart from Batman himself is fantastic. However, in that case, Is it really a masterpiece if the main character is someone that I don't like?
How?
Well, that's your opinion. That's your opinion, and I'm going to tell you you're wrong.
Any opinion you have now, it's if you pick something for a masterpiece, it's going to go down
Yeah,
to all
I'm
just because of what you've said.
I'm putting Catwoman in masterpiece now because it's yours. But you have to be wrong. No,
Just a shit on your
I
parade.
can't even do it as a joke. I can't.
You already put my movie in masterpiece, you bitch.
Oh yeah, true.
No,
Logan was the first masterpiece.
like, is there like, would anyone at all stop Dark Knight from being a masterpiece?
I mean,
I don't think anyone
if there was a
can.
tier above
No.
masterpiece, I'd put it there. Put it that way.
No. Again, like I said, it's a masterpiece. I just
And again,
don't like Christian Bale.
As I touched upon with Captain America, the ending is so dark, and I love it so much.
Yeah, no, it's a brilliantly dark and just brilliant film.
Yeah.
All around.
Shame Dark Knight Rises was shit.
Wow.
Ooh.
We're not going to debate that. We're not going to debate that.
Yeah,
we'll be here for a while.
Half an hour.
We'll be here for a while. I like that. I like that film. But we'll save that for part 2. Right. Let's move on to Thor Ragnarok. The savior of the. Okay, Ragnarok then. Mr. Christopher Bale giving me pronunciation. Right, Thor Ragnarok. Now the savior and of the Thor trilogy.
Savior because of one man, and that man's name is Korg.
I'm kind of jealous that this wasn't my film, so go on, Neil. You can.
I mean, for Ragnarok, doesn't it kind of represent the conclusion of 10 years of like Marvel's learning how to do a great single hero focused superhero movie? I think like Thor Ragnarok is the product of all those years, all those missteps and good things that happened with the other movies to create something that's exciting, it's funny, it's fun, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's just a really good time. I think it's kind of become the archetypical movie of a single hero focused superhero movie. It's that enjoyable to watch.
I enjoy the fact that you're saying it's a single focus superhero movie.
When you've got
I'd
Hulk,
argue it's not.
when you've got Hulk as well.
Hulk gets like a lot of screen time and a big character-driven point about how he was ashamed of living on Earth and how he felt he couldn't go back. And Bruce Banner saying how I don't think I could ever turn into Hulk again. I don't know if I'd ever come back. Bruce would ever return again if I ever turned into Hulk again. You've also got Valkyrie, who's got her alcoholism and her entire contingent was slaughtered.
Did she
also
die in Infinity War? Sorry, did she die in Infinity War? Because I do not remember him after that.
No, she was in Endgame.
They were all in Endgame because it came after the snap, that big scene. But the Russo brothers did say on Twitter that she survived.
Oh, okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is like, it's not a. I'm not saying this is like some character piece as a movie. I'm just saying like it's not an ensemble piece, right? It's not a mainline Avengers movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm saying like it's a perfect example of that.
Yeah, it's of itself. Would you say it's the funniest superhero movie you've seen?
Oh, I think you'd have Guardians of the Galaxy there,
Oh yeah, that's true, but I forgot about that one. But I still think it's funnier.
Oh no, man!
I mean,
Batman and Robin is on this list.
Oh.
I still seal.
Yeah. Okay,
I would say laughing ironically at it.
I mean, intentionally funny.
You can't tell me Mr. Freeze's puns weren't intentional.
Oh, they were intentional. They were just shit.
Shit in a bad way. Shit in a good way. No.
That's
a good debate, actually. Is Thor Ragnarok or Guardians of the Galaxy funnier?
I mean, I loved Korg in Thor Ragnarok. Everything he said was comedy gold for me.
Oh, brilliant. Kind of brilliant choice to use that accent on him, because it's like kind of random for him to just have that sort of use it in an accent. But well, obviously the director's from New Zealand, so it makes sense. But
I mean, the director voiced it. I don't know what to tell you.
no, I know, but if it was any other director, you'd be like, oh my, like that's a random accent to use for this guy, for this rock. Why would a rock be from New Zealand? If you know what I mean.
I mean, I don't know. Tell us, Paddy, why would a rock be from New Zealand?
I'm not getting into this.
Do you reckon we could just replace the Thing with Korg in any future Fantastic Four film? Then we don't have to.
I'd happily have Korg as the main character in any Avengers.
Let's not go that far.
He needs his own standalone movie.
The next Avengers film could be just 6 Korgs.
No, I'm glad he got a bit of screen time in. Was he in? He was in.
He was in Infinity.
Oh, was he in
you're on about? It's Infinity War where he's playing Fortnite.
Yeah. No, it was an Endgame. That was an Endgame.
No. Oh no, yeah, it was an Endgame. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, no, I'm glad he got a bit of screen time in that one. And that scene was really good when Thor's playing Fortnite or whatever, or Korg.
Yeah. So where do you reckon we put that then? I reckon it's almost there, you know.
Well, Neil, it's your one. What did you go for?
Yeah, I had it down as a masterpiece. I think it's the perfect what it is.
Yeah.
Like outside those full ensemble movies, I think it's probably the best in the MCU. It's just the product of all those other movies that came before to create a product that everybody can enjoy. That's why I think it's a masterpiece. I think you can't what's the flaw with it?
Yeah, when you think of the purpose of
the way the villain dies. There's your flaw.
I mean, Jeff Goldblum was never really intended to. Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about Jeff Goldblum here, of course.
Not Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean the fact that the ending of the film of defeating the big bad, who, like many Marvel villains, I can't remember the name of. What was the name of Thor's sister?
Hela.
Yeah, Hela.
Hela, it was, yeah.
It's literally a case of yeah, no, I'm just gonna leave you here with this.
I don't think she dies.
Well, yeah.
I think it's one of those where a next time sort of thing.
Well, that sort of even adds more to my point. The end of the film, and he doesn't defeat the villain, but he wins.
I kind of feel like it's not the point. It's not the point of the film, though. It's basically a comedy.
That does.
So that's what you've got to look at it. I think you've got to look at it from that aspect. It was trying to be a comedy.
Yeah, but during the fight, they have a really emotional part where the dad talks to him beyond the grave, saying, "You weren't the god of axes, you were hammers, you were the god of thunder. So use your thunder powers," and he still doesn't beat her.
I don't know. I feel like it's too harsh to judge it on that, because I feel like it is a masterpiece for what it was trying to be and what it was.
So would you say it's better than Endgame?
Oh, you got me there.
Yeah, that's so wisely there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, what do you think it is?
I think it's almost there.
I think it is very good for what it is, but I wouldn't have put it as a masterpiece.
So you think almost there. Neil thinks it's masterpiece.
You might have to go with the majority.
Well, I mean, if I went masterpiece, then we'd be 2 for 2 and we'd be here forever. So I'm just gonna save that and just put it almost.
Well, no, if it's 2 for 2, then you let the person who brought it up have.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
But yeah, it is almost there. It doesn't have the ending.
Okay, we'll do that then. We'll do that because I actually do think it's masterpiece.
All right then.
I love that film. So I guess Neil gets to decide it, and it's masterpiece.
Damn straight.
Nice. I'm happy with that.
You're gonna cause Mangan to have an aneurysm when you argue your last film.
What is this my one coming up now?
No, Neil.
Oh, Neil.
Am I?
I can't remember what that is, but my next, this is my final film on the list, and again, this is going to be an easy debate: Batman v Superman.
I don't. All right.
That silence was deafening.
Next one, guys.
Yeah, I'm just gonna again. No, I'll explain. Like,
At least Catwoman at the basketball scene.
No, but this film was just like, let's disregard any story and let's just throw as much action as we can into a film. That's basically what it was. Let's try and make epic battle scenes between Batman and Superman, and we won't even need a story because the scenes will be that epic. That's what the attempt was.
Just watch everyone flying about, and hopefully it'll be good.
Mate, and in what world could Batman beat Superman? It's ridiculous. I mean,
that's the point of the film, though, Paddy, to have this debate.
Well,
the entire purpose of this film was Batman and Superman fans watching it. One half of the fans getting angry at the results and then yelling about it.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It didn't need to be made. Like Batman v Superman, it's not a fair fight. It'd be like Conor McGregor v me.
They panicked.
Conor McGregor v you. What a comparison!
And then I win. Like, that's not going to happen.
And they panicked, didn't they? I think Avengers 2 had just came out. Age of Ultron made shit tons of money. They panicked and thought, "Oh crap, we need to start. We really need to jumpstart our cinematic universe."
I mean, I get why
Wonder Woman.
I get why they did it, because they were just like, let's just try and throw something together like mad, and try and create some waves. But nah, it's just a massive failure.
They threw a ton of characters in there with only one of them having any backstory. Hoped it'd work. Got mixed results. We'll say as kindness, and then threw that into Justice League with a bunch of other new characters who had no origin story. God,
I do not really remember a single thing about this film.
Oh.
May I? For me, Batman and Superman remains the only movie I've ever fallen asleep in a cinema with.
Wow.
That's true. That is entirely true. It's the only time that's ever happened to me. And it was when I was watching that movie. However, I did wake up for the ending, which, if anyone remembers, was so cowardly. It made me want to hit something. It was so annoying. Like, when I thought the movie was finally going to do something like ballsy to make the whole thing worthwhile, it completely reneged on the promise, breaking every hope I had. Not for the little hope I had, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, lads, it's would never watch again.
Like, yeah, we're sticking it there.
Unless you're trying to get to sleep.
Yeah, we've proven that then.
Yeah, Neil's proven that theory already.
Yeah, so maybe I'll put it there just because of Neil. Just because Neil might watch it as a sleeping pill. No, but it's mad because like a film with that much action can make you want to fall asleep. Like, because the action is so like meaningless and there's no story. It just tells you everything really.
And I'll be honest, lads, Justice League's worse.
I mean,
bloody hell.
DC are the real run of stinkers. Like you just can't help them.
I know, yeah.
Oh no, they've had Shazam. Wonder Woman 1984 was supposedly good.
I was going to say one.
I feel a bit sorry for Henry Cavill. He's got his face appears twice in this would never watch again list. I feel a bit bad.
He has a habit of appearing in really bland media, doesn't he? Cough the Witcher.
Oh,
guys,
no. We're not getting into this. We're not getting into Netflix.
What, Netflix original series?
That could be a whole different tier list. Although I don't know if I can bother doing the research for that because I have to watch like a bunch of series, like all the episodes. All right, let's move on.
They all get cancelled after 3 seasons. It's all right.
Yeah, true. But even 3 seasons is quite a lot to get through. All right, let's move on to The Amazing Spider-Man. That's the first Andrew Garfield one, isn't it?
Yes, the first Andrew Garfield film where he goes up against the Lizard.
Yeah.
And you know what, lads? I actually really enjoy this film.
You're not putting it masterpiece, are you?
Well, no,
because my masterpiece is Logan.
I say, Jesus.
You keep forgetting that. No, to me, this is a decent film that does Spider-Man, the actual character of Spider-Man, better than the Tobey Maguire trilogy? The Tobey Maguire trilogy never really got Spider-Man as a
Swing and a
character
miss.
right, I think. It was usually he wasn't jokey enough. He wasn't, getting off one-liners against all the villains, going up against them. With Andrew Garfield, you have that non-stop. He's got the smart, fast mouth constantly going against them. Mind you, it's a crap Peter Parker. Whoever thought Peter Parker should be a hipster should be shot.
Like, the thing about, I feel a bit sorry for Andrew Garfield because I think he's probably the worst of the Spider-Mans, but he's still good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed him.
He's like the worst of a good bunch. Like,
I thought it was a shame that it ended after 2 movies, especially after What's-Her-Face died.
You know what? I almost went for Amazing Spider-Man 2, but
I enjoyed Amazing Spider-Man 2 more, honestly.
The ending to Amazing Spider-Man 2 was so much better, but everything else is worse.
I felt really sorry for Jamie Foxx in it.
Oh my word!
Like
that character got murdered.
Like, he made Spider-Man look like so much of a dick.
Yeah.
Like, oh. I was watching it, I was like, how's he the bad guy in this? He's like so scared.
But yeah, back to the film that's actually on the list. Obviously, the one downside to it is because it's a Spider-Man film, it's the origin story that everyone knows. Doesn't help that the only reason this film exists is because Sony was about to lose the rights back to Marvel because they hadn't made a film in a long time. So but once you get halfway through, he's got his powers, he's doing all his abilities, and you get into the Dr. Connors storyline where he knows his dad, where he's missing an arm, he's trying to do good things. He wants to, lizards can regenerate their tails, so what if we can try and find the genes that do that and create a concoction that allows us to be able to regenerate missing limbs as well. It's a classic noble story that goes wrong. As the saying says, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And there's also an emotional death in Amazing Spider-Man with Gwen Stacy's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and him making him promise to break up with Gwen Stacy, only for the final line to be, "Secrets are the best kind of things," though, or something along with that. That was an odd choice to end the film on.
Looking back now, looking at the 2 movies, he was a real dick.
He was. It's a shit Peter Parker, but it's a really good Spider-Man.
He literally turned down a dying man's wish.
Dying man wish who had kind of a good point as well.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
He literally said, "Fuck your dying wish, I'm banging your daughter."
He did have a good point because she dies in the next film.
Exactly.
It's like, so yeah. I mean, yeah. No, he is actually a bit of a dick, to be fair. That's why I much prefer Tom Holland's Spider-Man. It's much less serious, much more like, I think it's much more how Spider-Man should be.
Tom Holland is a much better Peter Parker while still keeping the good stuff that is Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's not popular. He's a nerd. He's a nerd. He's stuff like that. He's what Peter Parker's meant to be, and it works a lot better. Just Peter Parker should never be skateboarding.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
And I'll end it on that. Decent film.
That's a great analysis.
You putting it decent?
Yeah, decent.
Yeah, I was going to say decent because I don't think it's incredibly memorable, but it's a pretty decent film.
All right.
Does everyone agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Okay, next. Well, the penultimate one, Suicide Squad. What was this?
This was mine.
Go on.
When I was a youngin' and I saw that this movie was getting made, I was so excited. Like, I couldn't wait. Oh, we've got the Joker done. Oh, Deadshot being cast. Will Smith, maybe not the best choice, but, you'll take it. And then I saw what the Joker was going to look like, and I knew we were going to get roundly fucked. The point of Suicide Squad is a lot of people dying in it. 2 people of the Suicide Squad died.
It's because they want to make a Suicide Squad 2, obviously.
Which is
they want to keep all the famous actors alive.
You know what you do then? You take 4 not so well known DC villains. You take 4 not well known actors. You put them in the film and you periodically kill them off.
That's the thing. In Suicide Squad, there's usually 3 mainstays in the squad itself: Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang. Everyone else is open season on them. Like, I couldn't even be bothered getting interested in their story. Like, oh, what are you in here for? I really don't care. And I saw Viola Davis was cast as Amanda Waller. I was so excited, and she wasn't. She was hardly featured in it. Like, I'm putting this. I would never watch again.
Ooh, I think that's a bit off.
I fully agree with would never watch again. This film is just
awful.
Hatred.
I'd put it meh. I'd put it meh.
What's the villain? I can't even remember the villain. It was Cara
Enchantress.
Whatever.
Enchantress. Oh yeah.
That's it.
Where would you put it, Neil?
I remember too much about this film because Suicide Squad being made. Did anyone watch Arrow?
No.
All right. Arrow's kind of one of my main points when I say like our DC TV shows usually better. During the time when Suicide Squad's being made, DC's Arrow is currently doing a Suicide Squad storyline, including a brilliant adaptation of Deadshot. When Suicide Squad was being made, they forced the show to just pretend none of that happened. So they got rid of Argus, they got rid of Amanda Waller, they got rid of Deadshot, they got rid of all these characters. Just pretend they didn't happen. You can't do that. We're doing a film. If you're doing it on the TV show, then people might not want to watch the film, and the show's was never the same since.
You know what the worst thing about it is, really? I watched an animated version of it before Suicide Squad because I was getting myself pumped up for it, and the animated one was actually miles better. Like, if you're getting beaten by an animated show, you're doing something wrong. It's so frustrating.
This film had a fantastic trailer, and it got everyone so excited that Warner Bros. decided to make the people who cut the trailer edit the film.
I couldn't wait. I have always loved the idea of Suicide Squad because the villains being the ones to save the day. I loved the premise. I loved the idea, and the execution of it was just so bad. I mean, we all went to see it in the cinemas, didn't we? And we just left this like just in complete silence. Like there was nothing.
What do you think, Neil? Where would you put it, Neil?
You know what? I kind of have the opinion that, a lot of the issues seem to come from, like, law, right? Ignoring law, ignoring the established rules. But as a movie, like, just in itself, it's not terrible. Like, it does some horrible things with the law and with the characters. But purely as a movie, it's not unwatchable. Is what I would say.
Oh, I think it
this movie as a movie. Just quick to point out is the moment that I got sick of. The villain has an evil plan to destroy the world that involves a blue beam being thrown, being shot up into the sky. Because every superhero film does that now. Did that then and still does it?
It's a repetitive trope, right? But it's not necessarily suggesting the movie is terribly unwatchable.
It's unoriginal.
It's an unoriginal premise for what should have been an original film.
Yeah, and that's disgraceful, but it still doesn't mean the movie is awful.
It does.
It just means
I'll fully admit I am incredibly biased due to what it did to Arrow.
I'm just incredibly biased because it was shite.
If I think if you discount the lore, the movie as a movie is not terrible. I feel like people who don't have the background knowledge of Suicide Squad probably wouldn't care that much.
The script's not that good as well.
That's the thing I was looking for.
Let's not forget
so
about
much.
how they introduced what's the katana one called?
Katana.
I don't even remember.
The one who
Is it literally katana?
Isn't it literally katana, or have I got that completely wrong?
Well, I was thinking it was that as well, but I
that
thought
says
that
a
might
lot.
be offensive if I just say katana.
Oh dear.
It says a lot when we don't even know her name.
But they literally introduce her as that's katana. Don't let her sword touch you, otherwise your soul will be trapped into it. Show don't tell. Have her kill someone and have like a ghost spirit get like ripped out of the body and go into the sword. That would have been cool to see, and it showcases what her purpose of the team is. Instead, you just had the captain guy say, "Oh yeah, don't get touched by her sword, otherwise you die." Horrible, mate. Couldn't figure that out.
Right, me and Collins have said would never watch again, and if we're doing the rule of whoever picks it decides if it's a deadlock, then
yeah, I think me and Neil would both kind of put meh.
I'm overruling everything. Sorry, lads. I've got so many bad memories from this. I'm putting it would never watch again.
I mean, I personally would watch it again, but
for what purpose? What purpose would you rewatch Suicide Squad? Tell me that right now.
I think to give it to be honest, just to give it another chance because I can't remember too much from it. I remember it not being brilliant, but I don't remember coming out thinking that's an absolute disgrace or whatever. But well, I didn't have that high expectations for it. As much as you guys did, probably, so that's probably why. But anyway, I'll put it in would never watch again. Keep us all happy. Move on to the bloody final one. Get this over and done with. The final one is Joker, the 2019 Joaquin Phoenix Joker. Yeah,
so it's pretty great. I honestly think the movie is obviously it's Joaquin Phoenix, right? Like his performance is absolutely spectacular, and that's the thing that we all have to laud the movie for. But as well, I think it has that kind of sense of realism that a lot of superhero movies don't really get. Like the final scene, well, not the final scene, but the scene in the TV studio. It's so tense and so realistic.
Oh yeah, it's like because you know what's gonna happen, but you just
you don't. Like, I'll be honest, it's amazing because how can you feel sorry looking at what the Joker has done in every film ever? Like the things he has done, and you still manage to feel bad for him in the film.
Yeah, well, I think that's because of his performance, Joaquin Phoenix. It's the first time like someone's brought like a sort of humanity to
the Joker
character. So it's unique for sure.
It really does invoke like real sympathy, right? Like the guy plays the character like out of his skin. Literally, you see how emaciated he looks when he takes off his shirt. It's so incredible. It's such incredible devotion to that role.
Yeah, and it feels effortless as well. Like it feels like it's effortless for him.
I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is just a great actor in general. In fact, he picked for Joker.
How would you compare it to Heath Ledger?
I think it's two different subjects altogether.
That's what
honestly.
There's mine and not wanting to admit.
It's Joker at two different like stages of his life. So he's very different in the stage that Heath Ledger plays him. So that's the thing.
Joaquin Phoenix is like still seeing a bit of the light, but slowly getting enveloped by the darkness.
Yeah.
And just Heath Ledger's soul is just black, like just dark, twisted, and mangled. Like you can't really compare.
The scene where he kills the three kids on the train or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the way he just kind of like there's not even like a build up. He just kills.
Make him a child murderer.
Teenagers or whatever.
They're teenagers, mate. They're office workers who wear suits. They're fully grown men.
Oh, whatever they are, they're young men.
We're getting slightly older as it goes on.
The way like you think he's just like he just. where it's like building up the tension, and he just shoots them like instantly without like any hesitation. Like there's something powerful about that. The way he, like, just instantly turned from like good guy to bad guy. Like,
I think the love angle's cracking as well.
No, that's the worst part of the film.
Oh, I think it's good. Like how he just basically imagines it all.
It was good, but presented poorly, wasn't it? Like they didn't have to show that montage.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't real. That wasn't necessary. That was.
I think at the end of the day, they made the character is completely pointless. The love interest, because she's barely involved in like anything. She just sort of shows up and leaves, and then they explain it as, oh, she wasn't really there. It's like, well, yeah, the character's still shit. Then you can't, like, just because it was explained why she was always just showing up and going as no character at all. It still doesn't change the fact that she had no character.
Yeah, but
she was pointless.
At the same time, she represented that little bit of light, that little bit of hope for Joker, that something was gonna like go good for him, and then just have it all taken away from him because of his mental instability.
I'll be honest, I didn't even realize that like that all that bit was like not real. That he was just imagining all that. I didn't even realize that.
Okay, so maybe the montage was necessary.
Only for Paddy though. Everyone else was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake! Oh, well done."
I was a bit confused when he was sat in her apartment, and then she was like, she saw him. She was like, she's seen a ghost. She was like, "Get out! You got it." I was like, I thought it's meant to be your boyfriend, isn't it? No, but I guess I'm just not as attentive.
You're just watching the floor at this point. Were you just?
Well, I have to watch like 8 movies in like 4 days. You know, it's hard work.
Oh God!
You lose your concentration a bit towards the end.
So, just to sum, I'd say it's almost there.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I'd say, because I think it is. It's
not a
missing
masterpiece.
something. It's missing something. Not quite sure, but it is missing something.
It's a great performance, to be honest. It's a very, very memorable movie that could, like, you know, a bit like Logan, right? It could create a lot more opportunity to do that kind of movie, that kind of character study in the future. But it's not the perfect one. It does have some flaws, like some, you know, janky plot. That love story's a bit iffy.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a really, really invigorating, classy, and gritty movie to watch.
Yeah, it's different. It's very different to any film I've seen. Like,
Feels so real.
Yeah, for sure. I got that vibe. Well, that's everything. That's all of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's really annoying me though is the symmetry. If we had just one more film to put in there, this would be like a perfect symmetry.
I mean, why do you think we were arguing about Deadpool so much? We wanted that perfect balance.
Oh my! If we had one of the decents in there, I mean, it would be perfect.
All right, then. All right. Anyone think of a Meh movie off the top of their head?
Oh God.
We're not doing this. It is what it is.
Is there a sequel to Catwoman or?
Mate, no, that would be never watch again.
We'd never watch the first time. That category.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All right. I like how all 4 of them would never watch again are all DC. I do enjoy that.
That does indicate.
I mean, that's a bit unfair. That's a bit unfair to DC for the Catwoman one. It was between Catwoman and Elektra, which one I was choosing there. Could have easily been a Marvel film.
I mean, yeah, but there's still plenty of Marvel films that we'd probably put there if we did a part 2. Which will definitely happen.
Eventually, yeah.
Definitely happen, because there's too many films we missed.
Like, there's plenty, like, we are literally just cracking open the barrel at this point. There is so much topics to talk about right now. Like, we can't wait for this. It's going to be great.
But yeah, I think that's it, lads. Anything more to say?
Never watched Suicide Squad. My last pitch.
I mean, that seems like wise words to end on. All right. We'll see you later.
Well, it's been great. It's been great fun. We will see you next week. Drop a like and a comment on what you want to see next. And from all of us, see you later.